Okay, very good afternoon, children. In yesterday's class, we had the discussion about the Levy structures for simple elements, and also we had a clear discussion regarding what is a chemical bond and what are the conditions for bonding and everything. Now we will be seeing drawing of Levy structures for simple molecules. What are the conditions for drawing the Levy structure? Means, first of all, you have to add the total number of electrons, valency electrons of the combining atom. Okay? When you want to draw the Levy structure for a particular molecule, you have to add the total number of valency electrons, and always should make sure that each atom which is going to combine should have octet configuration. Octet configuration should be satisfied. This is the major criteria for drawing the Levy structure for simple compounds. Now we will see one example. How to draw the Lewis dot structure for CO? See, for carbon monoxide you have to draw the structure. How we can draw that we will see now. So first carbon, atomic number 6. So its electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2 and 2p2. So 2, 4 is one way, and there is another way, that is helium 2s2, 2p2. Or this is the technique what I said to draw, to identify clearly. So now what is happening? Carbon needs 4 electrons to attain octet configuration, and at the same time oxygen is 8. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p4 means how many it required? It required 2. Is it or not? So 4 to 6 plus 2, 8. So it requires 2 electrons. For oxygen, it requires 2 electrons to attain the octet configuration. So now total number of valency electrons are how many? 6 electrons are the total number of valency electrons. Now how to draw the structure for this? That is important. So total 6 electrons are there, but they should be distributed between carbon and oxygen. Okay? See, generally 6 electrons. Here it means carbon needs how many? Oxygen needs how many? 2. So it will form double bond. Let us consider it has formed the double bond. 2 electrons are completed. Next, what is left? Carbon. Carbon can form one bond. So triple bond is completed. So totally how many are completed now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One bond is consisting of 2 electrons. So totally 6 electrons are completed. And extra here it has lone pair of electron, and here it has 2 lone pairs of electrons. So this is the structure of carbon monoxide. But what is the reality? Only this is going to participate. Is it or not? Only the p orbital of oxygen is going to participate. So only one lone pair will be there. So the structure, here you can see the structure of carbon monoxide will be like this. Triple bond. Okay? So there are some rules for drawing the structure of the carbon for molecules. What are the first rule is you have to add the total valency electrons. That is first. And after that, the basic requirement is what? Each atom should get octet electronic configuration. That is most important. Okay. This again I am explaining you clearly to understand the structure of carbon monoxide. Okay. Carbon is having like this 4 electrons are there. Okay. And oxygen is having like this. Okay. Now oxygen is in need of 2 electrons and carbon is in need of 4 electrons. Totally 6 is the valency electrons. Okay. Now oxygen means what? The valency shared electrons only we have to draw as per Lewis. And there will be a bond between carbon and oxygen. Oxygen first 2 unpaired electrons are there. So they will form a bond with 2 unpaired electrons of carbon and they form a bond. It is finished. And oxygen has having paired electron. Okay. Next, now you see, you check the valency of oxygen. What is the valency of oxygen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only. But it needs 8 electrons, To fulfill it needs 8 electrons. Then how? So generally we have taken oxygen's 2 electrons are there, it was filled. But for carbon it is also filled. But we have 6 electrons. So one more bond will be formed. Now that is nothing but like this triple bond. Total how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 7, 8. For oxygen 8 is completed and for carbon how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only. Still 2 are left. So the 2 will be here. Now you can check the individual valency is completed. 3 bonds means 3 to the 6 electrons plus 2, 8 electrons. Here 3 to the 6 plus 2, 8 electrons. And now it is total 6 valency electrons are paired. And each is having pair of electrons. Finished. So this is the part. That's why carbon can form still carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide also. So Lewis structures will give. And one more important thing is Lewis structures are not the exact structures. This you should keep in your mind. These are not the exact structures. Depending upon the data I am drawing them. Okay. There are some rules for drawing the Lewis structures. Okay. What are those rules? I will say to you. First, I think you note down this first of all. Structure of CO will be like this. Okay. Now this is about the molecule. Suppose if there is an ion is given, then how you will count that ion? Let us consider you have to draw the Lewis structure for NO2 minus ion. NO2 minus ion you have to draw. Then how you will draw the structure? That is also important. Drawing NO2 minus ion structure. Now nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen is 7 and oxygen is 8. Writing electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So totally valence electrons are how many? Means 5 and here 2. But oxygens are 2 here. Okay. So that is also important. How many valency electrons are there? That is also important. Here you see first valency electrons are 2, 5 and here 2, 6. These are the valency electrons. So total how many? 5 plus 6. side total 17 electrons are there. Correct only? Or still any doubts to anyone? 17 electrons are there. But here again it is minus. NO2 minus. Okay? NO2 minus means what? 17 plus 1. Totally 18 valency electrons to be distributed now. How you are going to distribute these 18 electrons? So there is one general thing is the least electronegative element is taken as the central atom. The least electronegative element. In nitrogen and oxygen, least one is nitrogen. So that is kept as the center, and this side two oxygens are given. Now what we have to do? Here it needs how many electrons? 6 electrons. Totally it needs 6 electrons. Okay? So 6 are there. So 2 only it needs. 2 means it will form. Let us consider here, let us take it is forming one double bond this side. Okay? Now, how many electrons are there on oxygen? Here already 2 are completed, means 4 are left. Okay? 4 are left now. So this is completed. So 4 plus 4, 8, it is completed. This part is left. Okay. Next, for nitrogen now. For nitrogen I have to check. Here 4 are completed. Still nitrogen needs how many electrons? 4 are required. But it requires 3 only. Here already 2 is completed. When I draw one here, one bond, it is finished. 3 are completed. Okay. Now you count how many electrons does nitrogen has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons it has. And it has one lone pair of electron. Okay. Totally 8 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 electrons are there for nitrogen. Now oxygen is having 8, nitrogen is having 8, and next coming to this oxygen part. This oxygen part, what we can do now? This also needs 8 electrons. Here how many are completed? 2 are completed. Actually oxygen needs 2, 2 is completed. So how many it has to show there? 6 electrons. 8 should be there. And total negative sign. This is the structure of NO2 minus. Okay. So no problem. I will repeat this again for you if you have not understood it. By saying first we will write the main points. After that you can understand very clearly how to draw the Levy structure. So first rules for writing, note down all of you. What are the rules for writing the Lewis dot structures? Okay. Just you note down this. The Lewis dot structures for simple molecules can be written by adopting the following steps. What are the following steps? The total number of electrons required for writing the structures are obtained by adding the valency electrons of the combining atoms. So in the first case what we have done, carbon and oxygen. Okay, let us take carbon and oxygen. Carbon needs 4 electrons, valency electrons are 4 and oxygen are 6. Totally 10 are the valency electrons. These 10 are added first by adding the valency electrons. Then what we have done, these 10 are distributed now. How? Carbon and oxygen we distributed. How we distributed those 10? First, oxygen needs 2. So, 2 double bonds I have made it. So, how many electrons are gone now totally? 4 electrons are already within. So, now oxygen needs how many? Some 4. Totally 8 valency you are seeing for oxygen. It is completed. Now coming to the point of carbon. Carbon needs how many? 4 electrons. Okay. See here, already 2 are bonded. Still, one more I am bonding. So total carbon, how many finishes now? 6 electrons. But still 2 are required. So this is the structure of carbon monoxide. Means triple bond with this. So now what we will do? We have to remove one bond, one oxygen lone pair. Why? At any cost, oxygen should have only 8 electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the final structure of carbon monoxide molecule. What is the final structure of carbon monoxide molecule? This is. Once again I am saying to you, if you have a little bit of confusion, it will be avoided now. Up to this it is very clear. 10 electrons are required. 10 electrons are there in the valency shell. Now carbon and oxygen. First oxygen needs 2 electrons. So if 2 electrons means it will form double bond. Okay. Carbon needs how many? It needs 4. Means it has to form 4 bonds. Already 2 bonds are here. So it will bond one more bond. 3 bonds are completed. Not more than 3 is possible with one element. So totally how 6 bonds, 6 electrons are completed for each. Now how many are left? They are left with 2 electrons only. This is the simple way to draw the things. Okay. So this is the first rule. First rule is what? The total number of electrons required for writing the structures are obtained by adding the valency electrons of the combining atom, and the basic requirement being that each bonded atom gets an octet electrons. That is most important. Next thing is what? For anions, add 1 electron for each negative charge, and for cations, subtract 1 electron from each positive charge. And in general, the least electronegative atom occupies the central position in the molecule or ion. After accounting for the shared pairs of electrons, for single bonds, the remaining electron pairs are either utilized for multiple bonding or remain as the lone pairs. Okay, just you note down. I will explain that in NO2 minus we have utilized all these steps. How means you see, in NO2 minus nitrogen needs 3 electrons. Valency electrons totally 5 are there in nitrogen. Electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3, 2, 5. So 5 is the valency. Number of valency electrons are 5. It requires 3 to get the octet configuration. And oxygen valency electrons are 6. Okay, but each oxygen is having 6, but here we have 2. So total 12. So total 70 valency electrons are there in NO2, but here it is minus. So we have to add 1 more electron. Total 18 electrons are there in valency for NO2 minus. So now the one which is having least electronegative element occupies the central position. In nitrogen and oxygen, nitrogen is the least electronegative element. So N I have taken. and oxygen this side and this side I have placed it. Okay, I have placed oxygen on either sides. Now what is required? For one oxygen, how many electrons are required? 2 electrons are required. Means it can form double bond. Let us consider this with nitrogen, one bonding is done this side and one bonding is done with this side. Let us consider this oxygen has done double bonding. That is completed. Now what I have to do? I have to check the valency of each element. Let us consider first this oxygen. How many electrons are completed? 2 plus 2, 4. 4 plus, here total 4 electrons are completed. Okay, but the valence electrons are how many? 6. But octet configuration should be how much? 8. So blindly I can write how many electrons are left? 4 are left. So I will keep like this lone pairs. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is completed for this oxygen. Now coming to this nitrogen now. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is completed. So one lone pair. See, this rule I am applying. After accounting for the shared pair of electrons for single bonds, the remaining electron pairs are either used for multiple bonding or remain as the lone pairs. I am making them as lone pairs, that's all. So now totally 2 are completed. Okay. So for this nitrogen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is completed. Again for this oxygen I can take how many? 2 are completed. So 6 is required. Or I can draw like this also. Any structure can be done for NO2 minus. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can ask me on WhatsApp. So this is all about Lewis dot structure for simple molecules. How you can draw Lewis dot structure for the simple molecules. So first of all, you note down the points of this all. Hope you have understood all the points. If you have any doubts, you practice by reading that example and you draw the things. Then again, if you have any doubt, you can pin me on WhatsApp. Thank you. Okay, very good morning children. regarding the chemical bond, the second part. So in the last class we have seen about why the atoms will become molecule, means in order to attain the stability they will be seeing, and we have seen also Lewis symbols of dot some elements. Now generally nature of the bonding we will see, how the nature of the bonds will be. So nature of the bonds. So generally what happens, we said that distribution of the electrons, redistribution of the electrons between the atoms will give the bond formation, and nature of the bond formed between the two atoms will depend upon the electropositive and electronegative character. See, generally bonding means what? The name, it is nothing but redistribution of the atoms. So when the redistribution of the electrons between the atoms takes place, then one should have a property of giving and one should have the property of taking. So the nature of the bond will mainly depends upon the electropositive and electronegative character of bonded atoms. So what, depending upon these, if more electropositive and more electronegative, what type of bonding? If less electropositive and more electropositive, what type of bonding? That we will see now. Okay. If both are electropositive elements, okay, if both are electropositive elements, let us consider both the elements are electropositive elements. Then the resulting bond will be metallic bond. Okay, if both are electropositive elements means the resulting bond will be metallic bond. Suppose if one of the one is electropositive element and another one is electronegative element, then the resulting bond is ionic bond. Okay. So if both are electropositive elements, then the resulting bond is metallic bond. If one element is electropositive and another element is electronegative, then it is ionic bond. If both are electronegative elements, only, if both are electronegative elements, then they result in covalent bond. So this is about the nature of the bond in general. Suppose what I have said in the previous class, we said that atoms, in order to attain stability, they combine. Atoms combine to form molecules. So in that, if same both are electropositive elements, then the resulting bond will be metallic bond. If both are electropositive element and electronegative element, means the resulting bond will be ionic bond. And if one element both are electronegative elements, then the resulting bond will be covalent bonding. Okay, you please make a note of this. And next we will have the term lattice energy. What is lattice energy? That, see, these are all the basic terminologies before we enter detail into ionic bonding, covalent bonding and metallic bonding, all these. So first you should know what is lattice energy. So it is nothing but, see, when these one electropositive and one electronegative element both are there, what will happen? They will attract each other, so there will be a decrease in the energy. So that amount of energy released is called as bond energy. We are seeing, is it or not? So in the same way, the amount of energy released when oppositely charged gaseous ions, okay, are brought closer from infinite distance to form 1 mole of ionic crystal. 1 mole of ionic crystal, then it is called as a lattice energy. So what we are saying, lattice energy, it is an electrostatic attractive force between a cation and an anion. If both electrostatic attractive force between a cation and an ion, and they are resulting in 1 mole of a substance, then some energy is released. That amount of energy released is called as lattice energy. Suppose if you take sodium ion and chlorine ion, okay, this will form NaCl. So some energy will be released. Okay, that energy we call it as what? Lattice energy. So let me give the clear definition of the lattice energy. The amount of energy released, the amount of energy released when the oppositely charged gaseous ions are brought closer from infinite distance to form 1 mole of ionic crystal. 1 mole of ionic crystal is called lattice energy. Okay, lattice energy means what? The amount of energy released when the oppositely charged gaseous ions are brought closer from infinite distance to form 1 mole of ionic crystal is called as lattice energy. Okay, so it is the term for lattice energy. Okay, so what I can conclude, lattice energy will depends upon the charge of the ions and also on the distance. Can I say or not? We can conclude that no, lattice energy depends upon charge on the ions and the distance between them. I can write here, lattice energy will depend on charge on the ions and distance between them. Okay, I can write from the definition itself, we can conclude that lattice energy will depend on charge of the ion and distance between them. Again, we have 2 types of ions. One is cation and one is anion. Okay, what I can conclude is energy and ion. When an atom will become an ion, when it loses or gains electron or electrons, then it attains certain charge. That charged particle we are calling it as ion. Okay, means what? Again, it depends upon the size of the ion. Smaller the size of the ions, I can conclude like this. Smaller the size of ions, larger the lattice energy. Okay, smaller the size of ions, larger the lattice energy. Okay, smaller the size of the ions, larger will be the lattice energy. How the lattice energy will be means, if the ions are smaller charge, then the lattice energy will be more. And what about the distance? Larger the distance, greater the distance between the charged ions, lattice energy will be the higher. Okay, greater the distance, between charged ions, larger will be lattice energy. Okay, if there are more distance, so to get the bond formation, what we need, we have to apply more energy. So greater the distance between the charged ions, larger will be the lattice energy. And if the smaller the size of the ions, larger will be the lattice energy. So these are the points. Means what? It is inversely related. Charge on the ions is inversely related to lattice energy, and distance between the ions is directly related to the lattice energy. Okay, what I can say, charge on ion, okay, is inversely related to the lattice energy. Is it clear? And distance between them is directly proportional to the lattice energy. Okay, so you can note down all these points. You can note down clearly all these points. The nature of the bond between the two atoms. The nature of the bond formed between the two atoms depends upon electropositive and electronegative character of bonded atoms. And you can write those three. Electropositive element plus both plus electropositive element will result in metallic bond. Electropositive element plus electronegative element will result in ionic bond. Electronegative element and electronegative element result in covalent bond. Next, definition of lattice energy. It is the amount of energy released when the oppositely charged gaseous ions are brought closer from infinite distance to form 1 mole of ionic crystal is called lattice energy. And we can conclude that lattice energy will depend on charge on the ions and distance between them. Smaller the size of the ions, lattice energy will be larger. Larger the charge on the ions, okay, lattice charge will be higher. Okay, you can write this a change. Larger the charge, on the ion, greater the lattice energy. Means suppose if Na plus is there and Mg2 plus is there, which will have more lattice energy, means Mg2 plus. Larger the charge on the ion, greater the lattice energy. And for competitive exam point of view, some points we will discuss. For dissolution of ionic solid in solvent like water, hydration energy must be higher than lattice higher than lattice energy. LATTICE, lattice energy. That is the major thing. And we know that ionic compounds are soluble in non-polar solvents only. Okay. So polar solvents and non-polar solvents, what are those that we will see again. And most of the ionic compounds are almost insoluble in water. Okay. A number of ionic compounds are almost insoluble in water. Why they are insoluble in water? As their hydration energy is less than the lattice energy. Why? If they want to soluble, what should be their hydration energy must be higher than the lattice energy. Okay. So what we are saying, dissolution means what? They have to dissociate into respective ions when they are dissolved in water. And that is possible when it is possible when hydration energy is greater than the lattice energy, then dissolution is possible. So a number of ionic compounds are almost insoluble in water as their hydration energy is less than lattice energy. Okay, their hydration energy is less than lattice energy. That is the reason why they are not soluble. Okay. Next, in the previous we had one. You try to answer this question. Out of MgO and NaCl, which has higher lattice energy? Which has higher lattice energy? You try to answer this. Out of MgO and NaCl, which has higher lattice energy? What we had discussion now regarding lattice energy, if you have understood means you should be able to write the answer for this. How to write, I will say to you. Generally, when any compound is given, dissociate it. First you identify the cation and anion first of all. So here Mg2 plus and O2 minus, Na plus and Cl minus. Now you say me which has higher lattice energy. We had a clear-cut discussion that the one which is having larger charge will have the highest lattice energy. So what I can say here, the larger one is what? Mg2 plus. So MgO has higher lattice energy. Okay, higher lattice energy, because why? To dissociate here 1 is to 1, but here 2 charges are there, the unit charges are double. Okay, MgO has higher lattice energy. Is it clear? See here, MgO has higher lattice energy because here it is having 2 plus charge and 2 minus charges, 2 units of charges. But here they are having only 1 unit of charges, 1 plus and 1 minus only. Okay, so MgO has higher lattice energy because each ion carries 2 units 2-unit charge. Whereas in NaCl, each ion carries 1 unit charge only. Have you understood? So this is the major difference. Okay? Please make a note of these things. And next we will see generally ionic bond. First, what is the ionic bond? Introduction part. We will have a discussion.